Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Welcome back to Beyond the Scale. Coach Darcy and I are so happy to be with you. This is the second part of a 3-part series that we are recording that is going to be talking about a body, mind, and spirit. We believe they are connected. Our bodies, minds, and spirits are connected. And when one is sick, it impacts every other one. When I was 250 pounds, that was an outward expression of what was happening on the inside of my body. And there was a reason why I was full of anxiety and depression and anxiousness. And so today we're going to tackle the second one. We're going to tackle the mind. And Coach Darcy and I were talking right before we pressed record, and we both, without exception, agreed this is our favorite one to talk about. I have a feeling, though, Coach, that the next show, I have a feeling we're going to uncover some hidden gems in there that
We're going to say that one's our favorite.
I think so, because the first one was kind of my favorite because I get to buy new clothes.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't have to buy medicine anymore.
Right.
So the first one was our favorite too.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the changes that happened to us when we lost our weight, I lost 120 pounds. Coach Darcy lost 70 pounds. When we talk about the changes that happened in our mind, we really are kind of stuck on this one.
Yeah.
So do you want to start us out, Coach?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because I could say my whole entire life, I have probably failed in the mental department. I feel I'm going to say in that way. But I say that because I hardly remember my childhood. I was not pleasant in the school world either. Like I failed as somebody to remember things. I was, kind of on the ADHD kind of spectrum a little bit. Wasn't diagnosed as self-diagnosis right there. But based on all the signs and symptoms, I struggled in the mind, and I got so mad. And it didn't take until college where I actually understood how to write a paper because of how terrible I was in the education department. And I felt very disappointed in myself. I had that built low self-esteem. I felt stupid. I just did not walk high in the confidence level when it came to education and knowing things. So as I got older, I was like, there's got to be some kind of pill or something that I need that my brain is saying, hey, you need this. So I dove into looking at supplements, and I spent a lot of money on supplements. And I found that, ginkgo was amazing for natural supplements. I never wanted to go towards prescription medication though. So that's what I did. I did the natural stuff. That worked, but I didn't feel as if that was the thing that cleared my mind up. I still was terrible at the education part of life. I had common sense. I know that, but you can kind of be born with common sense and then not be born with common sense. But that was what happened. And when I went in this world of keto, it was like things just started to make sense. And I was able to retain some information. I still struggled a little bit, but I think that was just my mind detoxing. And it was getting used to this thing called retaining.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, as we learn more about neural pathways,
yeah,
as we're studying the brain, you and I are doing a lot of study on the brain because we're getting our certification on hormone therapy and hormone eating for our hormones and all of that. And the more we learn about the brain, there is this thing, in between our brain waves called neurotransmitters. And when those things are inflamed, because when we are overweight, when we are unhealthy, we are full of inflammation. And so I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on the internet, but it makes sense as I look at those brain neurotransmitters and see the inflammation and see the blockage. In fact, they're saying that type 3 diabetes now is Alzheimer's and dementia.
right.
That's why. Like
Yeah,
inflammation causes that. And so it makes sense scientifically why we would start to, when you lose the inflammation, your neurotransmitters can connect again.
right.
Those
And
waves.
that's where I think that there's a lot of people that could diagnose me. Well, Darcy, you probably had ADHD and you probably needed to be on Ritalin, or you probably did this and you needed to be on this medication. That would have been the answer all. And I
Hmm.
look back at what I ate as a child. And I vividly remember, and I don't vividly remember a whole lot of things, but vividly remember on Saturday mornings when mom was at work, I had my bowl of cornflakes that didn't have any sugar on it because apparently we didn't do sugar in our house, but we had cornflakes. And I took that little sugar bowl that we had that crystallized with the seashell spoon, and I sifted that sugar cane on top of my cereal until
Mm.
if you ever know how to make plaster, you
Hmm.
sprinkle on the plaster
I did
until
it
it
too.
starts to make an island on the top.
And I
And
remember
that,
that spoon. I would like that in a
yeah,
will, by the way.
no, wait, no, that's the only thing I want. I'm just kidding. Mom, sorry. You love me more. Anyway, um, but I just remember those types of foods that I would do consume, and I wondered why I struggled in school.
Hmm.
The other thing was, when I would earn my own money, I'd work for mom because I apparently earned more than Monica
You
did when
earned more than
she
I did for the same
she
job.
was a dog. We bathed the dogs as our jobs growing up, and as the youngest, I got apparently paid more.
She did.
But then we learned that Sherry got paid more than that.
She did. She was the
So
favorite.
she was the favorite. Anyway, so
If
Sherry's our
Kevin would
other
have done
sister.
it, he would
He
have been
did.
made the most because he really was the
He,
favorite child.
he was the favorite, the only boy. It's like an
Yes.
only child. But anyway, um,
I digress.
yes, we did digress. Um, but the fact is that where was I going with that? Money. Oh,
When you
I
were
earned
making your own
money.
money, yeah.
Earned money. And so then I would go over to my friend's house that lived right across the street from a Big Lots. And we'd go across the street and I would spend all of my money on that sugar and all the candy and all the chips and all that stuff. And I'd eat it before I went home the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That, my dears and sirs, is the issue.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just a little bit.
Yeah. And
I
when you
wondered,
remove that
yes,
clarity,
yes, boom.
I loved what one of our clients said during group one time. She said, Monica, my mind is quiet for the first time in my life. And that is exactly what I feel. In fact, when we went keto, by the way, we're going to debunk the fact that we are no longer supporting keto. We absolutely, keto is the foundation of everything we teach. But when we do little experiments, like what happens when you go carnivore, that's the first thing that happened to me. My mind quieted. I can think about things in order. I don't have to worry about the mental mush anymore.
Hmm.
It is so vivid. It's like the world is brighter right now. It's like I can see things with logic, and I couldn't do that before.
Right.
And so,
Retaining.
oh my word, it's
Amazing.
crazy. Yeah, the things
Yeah.
that we're learning with Dr. Mindy, I'm actually retaining this stuff
Yeah.
and I'm using it in my coaching. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I learned that 5 lessons ago. It's still in my brain.
Yeah. Right.
People pay a lot of money for that. And all
Hmm.
you have to do is rid your body of the inflammation and get rid of the processed seed oils, the processed foods, the sugar, and the carbs.
Right.
People, I did Did I tell you what I did? I don't think I told you. I have a favorite podcaster that we disagree with everything. You know, my guy that I
Yes.
can't remember his
That
name. Well,
you
his name is
it
Chris
was
Terrell. I'd remember his name now.
it's not Terrence.
It's
Oh,
not
he needs to
Terrence.
change his name.
Not
Change it to
Terrence,
Terrence.
but
I like
Terrence and
that.
I don't agree on coaching because he's an intuitive eating coach.
Right.
I listen to every one of
He's
his
the guy
things.
that looks like
Yes,
Ru-
Chris,
that one actor that is
the
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Who is that?
That guy.
That guy. He looks just like him.
Don't
Anyway,
hate on us right now.
no, don't hate on us, guy, because we love
We
you.
don't we
We
don't
just,
watch a lot of movies.
yeah. But I don't agree with his because he's an intuitive eating coach and I
Yes.
am a person with food addiction. But
Robert
beyond
Downey Jr.
Robert Downey, yes, that's who he
Okay,
looks
I knew
like.
it. I
We
didn't
love
even
you.
look that up. I just
So
it
I
came to my
tagged
mind.
him. Yesterday
Okay.
I tagged him in a video. You'll have to go to my TikTok and
Oh
watch
my
it.
goodness.
Because there's a lot of hate between health coaches
Mm-hmm.
because everybody thinks they've got the holy grail and they got the reason,
Right.
they have the only way that works and everybody else is bad. Well,
Bogus.
this guy doesn't support keto. He doesn't support, he believes it's restriction. I believe in restriction because restriction to me is freedom as a food addict. However, there's another reason why I believe in restriction is that is because of the very thing we're talking about
Hmm.
is the impact of sugar to the brain, the impact of sugar and processed foods and seed oils to physically change and alter your mind and to create a brain fog. So physically, there's a reason. But anyway, on that TikTok, I said, you know what? I love this guy. And if I had a client come to me and want intuitive coaching, he would be the one I'd send them to.
Hmm.
But I basically in that TikTok, I said, just because we disagree with each other doesn't mean we don't respect each other. And I respect this guy completely, even though he's wrong on how he.
Of course.
Oh gosh. But the
Uh,
mental clarity is absolutely people could pay a lot of money for that if they understood the impact of the mental clarity. They would understand why we believe in restriction, why we
yeah,
believe in getting those things out.
right.
I
Well,
remember
it's
sitting
almost
on. Mhm,
I was just going to say, it's almost, I know this is going back to the body topic,
mhm,
but it's almost as if a man that is constantly working out and getting strong, and he still has the insulin resistance, and he's
mhm.
wondering why
Why?
he's putting all this time and effort trying to be in shape and
Uh-huh.
get rid of that, and he just can't.
Yeah, there's a physical reason why.
Physical reason. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
science. Yeah, I remember the time that I sat on the couch. We had that check stripy green couch.
Uh-huh.
I remember
I
sitting
remember
on that
that.
couch and thinking to myself, "Oh my gosh, I see sun for the first time." And the cool thing about this is, you all, is when you go on a health journey, this happens right away. So
Hmm.
you don't have to wait. Like you got to wait a while for the weight to come off. You don't have to wait for the clarity. The minute I eat, and this is something that I'm going to find interesting with your journey, with the carnivore slash hormone feed. Do
Yes.
you feel any brain fog when you add the carbs? Do you feel anything? Because when you are sensitive to this stuff, you will know instantly. What were you telling me you had this morning that you're like, oh, my gut is not right? Um,
Oh, and in that latte that
yeah,
I was speaking of, they
right.
only had whole milk.
So, and you
So
felt it instantly.
it was gurgly, like my
Mm-hmm.
gut was gurgly for sure.
Yeah.
And then because just as a disclaimer, I am on a hormone refeed kind of type of higher carb for my hormones,
Mm-hmm.
this week. And so I had a sweet potato. That was my
Yeah.
choice. And I have not had a vegetable for a
Yeah.
month.
Month and six
A
days.
month and 6 days. And then I also, yesterday was the start of it. So I had some squash. Like I have been in the bathroom, TMI, but I've been in the bathroom with the amount of leftovers that I haven't had in a really long time, like
Wow.
for 30 days. So,
That's fascinating.
um, as for mental clarity, I still have that, I think.
Good.
I
Good.
mean, I'm doing a podcast right now. I
That's
think I'm
right. That's right. You're
fairly
doing a great
clear,
job. Yeah.
but we don't know.
Yeah, make sure you're journaling all of this
I
first
am. I
and put
am.
that last statement in there because that's really cool science that you're
I
that you're
know,
talking
even though
about.
it's gross about
I know. We talk about anything.
we
We do.
do. It's just
We
life.
It is life. So yeah, the mental clarity is unmistakable. The reduced stress and the anxiety. Weight loss often comes with improved self-esteem and body image.
Mm.
which also reduces your stress. And I don't like this sentence that I'm about to say. I don't like it and I want to change it. I don't think we'll ever be able to change it. But there is
What
such
is
a
it?
thing as skinny privilege and fat shaming. And it is the case. I have experienced it. People take me seriously now, and they did not take me seriously before. I
That
don't
would
like it.
be that would definitely be a cultural thing for sure.
Do
I
you think
think.
so?
I do. Because there's another other countries,
Or it's the opposite?
voluptuousness
It's
is
the
the
opposite. Yeah.
ideal.
Yeah.
But here in America and overseas where it's all about models and what you're
Mm-hmm.
wearing and all of that sort,
Yeah.
I do agree with you.
You know, you know how I've, my political views. I don't hide them. But I literally right before the show that that we're recording, I was listening to a radio talk show, and it said, and it was his closing um sentence. It was his closing story. He said, "Here's a story about how healthy people are more right-wing conservative." I just cracked me up because we need another reason to divide our country, right?
Right,
So
of
let's
course.
divide us this way
I
too.
mean,
So I did a simple Google search because I just heard it as a statement. I did a search. It's a real thing. Like it is a super real thing. I'm like, I didn't even know.
I don't even understand. I
Well,
don't
what they're saying is because you are healthy, you are more prepared, you're more you care more about your personality, you're more responsible, kind of like the people who don't put their carts away. I would never hire someone who didn't put their cart
Oh
away.
my word, that is
I
the
wouldn't.
worst. No.
I would not. If somebody
No,
came to
you
me and
would
said, "I want to
will not.
coach for you," I'm going to follow them to Walmart, see if they put their cart away. If you don't put your cart away, I'm not hiring you.
Listen, that's real. That is real. And I would not either.
Makes me
That
mad.
means that they're doing the job halfway.
There's this woman on TikTok. I don't know if we can just talk personally and it's not personal. It's what I saw. But I saw this TikTok. This woman is just getting she is just getting railed on, but she was this mom who thought she was going to just really set the world straight. And she was like, "You all, I do not care what you say, but I have children. I have young children, and I will not put my cart away because I want them safe in the car." And she thought she was going to get, accolades
A
for this thing
sport.
because she wanted her kids safe. People went after her and said, "Well, honey, how did you get the cart in the first place? You took your kids out of the car. You went to get a cart. Why don't we do that in reverse?"
Opposite. I've had kids and I was able to do it.
We're going to get
Period.
hate on this
And we
podcast.
are. Sorry.
We're
Not
talking
sorry.
about beautiful mind things, and now we're going to get
And we're
hate. No,
talking
but I
about the
think
politics of a cart.
our people will agree with us. Put your cart away.
Put your cart away just in respect because it's
Oh,
nice. It's a
gosh.
nice thing to do. And people have nice cars and they don't
Uh-huh.
want to have dings in them.
Yeah. And the next one we're going to talk about is enhanced mood.
Yes.
Physical activity and eating healthy is associated with weight loss, can boost your production of mood enhancing chemicals like our amazing oxytocin,
Oxytocin is the knight in shining armor.
serotonin, dopamine. It releases
Hmm.
all of those things, and you're just a nicer person.
Yeah,
At least I'll speak for me. I'm just a nicer person,
I typically am,
unless you don't put your card away.
unless you don't put your cart away. And if I'm caught, I'm going to be honest here. If I'm caught off guard and I am not staying focused
Mhm.
on the gratitudes of life, my
Mhm.
vitamin G, and I'm letting my hormones speak louder, and that red dog that we talk about, where it's like the little devil on the shoulder, if that speaks louder and I'm listening to it, that is the only time that I let my moods be bossy to me.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's truth.
I picture the color yellow when I think what happened to my mind. Yellow.
Mm,
It's just
yellow.
bright and
I
yellow.
like
I mean,
turquoise.
physically, that's just kind of the color.
Mm,
Yeah, just
yeah.
light. Better memory,
Hmm.
increased self-confidence. As the weight goes down, you're going to get some increased self-confidence. But let me reiterate again, the mood altering, process that happened for me happened after I'd only lost about 20 pounds. So I really sincerely believe that the chemicals we put in our body affect our mind and our moods. and give you brain fog where you cannot think clearly. So I
Right.
do 100% believe that it goes beyond the self-confidence of, yay, I lost 10 pounds. It is a chemical altering drug
Right.
that you put in your body.
Here's the thing though. I'm going to be a little negative. Ready? You cannot have this joy and clarity if you're letting your stress
Mm.
slash your cortisol again be that red dog and speak louder.
Say it louder for those in the back
Hold
of the
on.
room.
You cannot find that peace, clarity, joy, whatever that your body is giving you if you are covering it with stress, anxiety, worry,
Mhm.
fear, all of those things. You have, hold on, let me get a little bit closer.
Yes,
You have to let it go. Let it
that's
go.
right. Let it go.
Balance. Say
You
the word
don't
no.
you
Things
don't
like
have
that.
to own things that are not your problem, sister.
Right.
Put it down. Picture a target, picture a bullseye target, and picture that center being things that you can control.
Mm.
If you can't control it, throw it away. It's not yours to carry. Some of you are caring for your neighbor's monkeys in their backpack, and they're not yours to carry. Let them go. Focus on your own self, focus on the things that you can control, and let everything else go. If you want this, that's what you're going to do. We carry too much stuff. Are you laughing about the monkeys?
Good.
What is that saying?
Distracted. All of your monkeys in your neighbor's backpack.
What is it saying?
They're pink.
It's it's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right. You're
That's
right.
the
That's
thing.
making me tear up a little
We
bit.
have lost control over the see, you're letting the monkeys go in the podcast.
It was just
Oh.
really cute. That's
Well,
all
it's
I'm just.
like we got to go fix our neighbors' problems.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that.
No, and sometimes your neighbor's monkeys are over in your own. Get them in their own yard and say, take care
Get
of
a
them.
shock collar on them.
Yeah, one of those invisible fences.
Invisible fence. And then by golly, they're not
Not
going to
my
bother you.
circus, not my monkeys.
I
Use the
guess.
power of no. That's your lesson for the
Period.
day.
So, mental clarity will then just shine on through and will
Mm-hmm.
break through. So, let
Truly,
it. Let it.
truly.
Anyway,
Our bodies, our minds, and our spirits are connected. When one is sick, it impacts everything else. When you are sick over here in the mind area and you're feeling the anxiety and the stress and the overwhelming just overpowering stress, that is going to implicate the scale because over on the body section, because stress rises your cortisol, cortisol releases uh, glucose spikes your insulin. In the presence of insulin, you cannot lose weight. So your
period.
mind trials are impacting your body
Right.
trials. And then next week, we're going to talk about the spirit. Okay.
Right.
So they all interact. So we hope you join us next week. Darcy, is there any final things that you have to say? I'm not closing out if we're not done. But any final thoughts you have on the mind?
You can spend all the money in the world on a supplement or
Mm-hmm.
medication, or you could do this all natural
Yeah.
and let your body work the way
Yeah.
it needs to. Stop wasting your money. Stop spending on expensive urine
Mm-hmm.
because by golly, that's what you're doing.
Yep.
But we're dead serious when it comes to oh, I mean, here's what I was really gonna say. We're dead serious about this, but just like your weight loss, just like the process and the seasons that your body goes through, so does your mind. Your mind
Yeah.
goes through so many different seasons, so many different processes, and every single time that you are into a new season, you have uncovered yet something
Mm-hmm.
else. And it could be an old something else that's nasty or a new something else that you haven't seen for a while.
Mm-hmm. And this is
It,
where Coach Darcy and I advocate for mental health therapy.
yeah,
Because sometimes, we laugh and we joke about, the monkeys and the stress. But the reality is, especially since COVID, we have had a serious mental health problem
yeah,
in our country. And it is very, very scary. And so we completely wholeheartedly advocate for mental health therapy. And I almost I am to the point where I say, even if you've lost weight, even if you think everything is fine, you need to process that. You need to untangle it. You need to talk about it with somebody who can hold it for you and help you sort through what just happened in your life. And maybe you have a more serious issue where you maybe are not supported at home. Maybe you have some major stress. We're not belittling any kind of
Mm-mm.
stress because it is very, very real. And so when you experience that, it is time to reach out to a professional who can help walk you through it. And maybe that person is just listening to you. Maybe they're helping you process what thoughts are in your mind. But what you can do on a physical side is you can change your diet. You can change the things you put in your body that feed that inflammation. And then you can also sit with someone who knows how to help you process those thoughts. So, as lighthearted as we are and as positive and we're putting it in colors, as positive as this is, we understand there's a dark side and we understand that there's a healing side, and we fully say it is time to link up with a therapist and have them help you process through this. So,
Right. Yep.
so that was
On
today's
that
show.
note,
Yeah, today we talked about the mind.
yes.
So, our bodies, minds, and spirits. Next week when you come back, we're going to unpackage the spiritual side. Doesn't matter if you have a faith or not. We all have a spiritual side. And so Darcy and I are going to talk about what it did to our spirits and the things that we did, the journeys that we went through, the stages that we went through when it came to how our spirits were impacted by our weight loss journey. So we will see you next Tuesday. And make sure if you have enjoyed this, make sure you give us a review on the podcast platform that you're listening to, and also share it with your family and friends, because the more we can get our message of hope out, the more lives that can be changed. All right, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.